kinds of allegations of misconduct from long ago. Brett Kavanaugh's not the only one. Now the campaign trail in an ad that targets the current holder of the Ohio Senate seat, Sherrod Brown. There were allegations of abuse made by his ex-wife. Trace Gallagher has been following the story and has the latest for us. Trace?
Hi, Tucker. By all accounts, Sherrod Brown's 1986 divorce was ugly, including allegations by his then-wife, Lark Recchi, that he was physically abusive. And this isn't the first time these accusations have been dredged up by Brown's political opponents. But it is the first time they've been raised in the age of Me Too. In fact, the website running this 60-second ad is called Me Too Ohio. Watch.
Issue a restraining order. Later, she said Brown violated the court order, pushing, shoving, and bullying her.
Me Too Ohio is a super PAC, but it's also connected to GOP political firm that has done extensive work for the Senate campaign of Congressman Jim Renacci, Sherrod Brown's Republican opponent for Senate. Renacci denies having anything to do with the video, but appeared to amplify it, quoting here, "Violence against women in any form is not acceptable and has no place in our society. Sherrod Brown's well-documented history of domestic violence is deeply troubling." In turn, Senator Brown's office released a statement from Brown's ex-wife saying, quote, "Disparaging my family for political gain is disgusting, and Congressman Renacci should know better." Lark Recchi added that she's addressed this matter before, saying her previous accusations were because of hurt and sorrow on both sides. Tucker.
Amazing. Trace Gallagher, thank you. So that's Ohio. We're in Washington right now. I've been here all my life, and I can say I've never seen this city crazier or more paranoid or more tense or more dumb. Here's an example. 3 years ago, Brett Kavanaugh made what was obviously a joke about his time in high school. Here it is.
But fortunately, we had a good saying that we've held firm to this day, as the dean was reminding me before the talk, which is what happens at Georgetown Prep stays at Georgetown Prep. That's been a good thing for all of us, I think.
Yeah, so he's obviously admitting a felony sex crime there. No, it was a joke, and it's clearly irrelevant to what we're talking about today, but don't tell the more literal-minded, humorless members of the Senate. How about Elizabeth Warren? She tweeted this: "I can't imagine any parent accepting this view. Is this really what America wants in its next Supreme Court justice?" If you can even imagine texting something like that or putting it on Twitter, mindless. Ann Coulter is a writer, author of Resistance is Futile, How the Trump-Hating Left Has Lost Its Collective Mind. As if she needed another example of it, she joins us tonight. So what do you make of the fact, I was trying to get a straight answer from our last guest, and I'm not sure what I even think of it, but what do you make of the fact that Dianne Feinstein is saying, "I'm not sure I believe Christine Ford now"?
Well, Dianne Feinstein has always been one of my favorite senators, Republican or Democrat. I was sort of surprised she was the one who held on to this letter. I don't think the big issue is that it's the 11th hour. I think the big issue is last week we started getting polls showing the Democrats have a shot at taking the Senate.
Right.
They really want to stop this nomination. It's been kind of hilarious listening to the Democrats, on the New York Times editorial page, and Schumer and Blumenthal. We need a major FBI investigation. As you point out, there's nothing to investigate. They want to appoint a blue ribbon commission, and maybe, they'll wrap up their work sometime next February. It really is just purely for delay.
So can I ask, why not an independent counsel? And he can take maybe 4 or 5 years to get to the bottom of it. Why would the Republic look? This, I am giving everybody every benefit of every doubt. I'm not attacking Ford, who, again, as I said last night, I've heard is a nice person. But this is a political tactic designed to prevent the president from putting his nominee on the court. Why are Republicans in the Congress playing along with this?
I think some of them, and this is the only thing that I think makes it dangerous for Republicans, for Kavanaugh, and for the Republic, because there are certain Republicans in the Senate who so hate Trump.
Right.
They would put their egos above the good of the country. And what so many Republicans said about voting, and every 4 years say about voting for any Republican, we have to do it for the Supreme Court nominees. No, maybe not for Ben Sasse. Maybe not for Senator Bob Corker. They just so hate Trump. That could end up hurting Kavanaugh. But I think your point that if they get away with this, then you have CNN running the country. It's not even just the Democrats running the country. It's the media running the country, because this allegation could be made against anyone at any time, absolutely non-disprovable. The New York Times, I wanted to mention, since you cited Teddy Kennedy, one of the great things in the New York Times editorial on this case was to say that things were totally different in the 1980s. That's why this woman, Dr. Ford, didn't report it at the time. Because you remember the 1980s, Tucker. You used to be able to, there was sexual assault like mad every place. Their proof of this, that women weren't taken seriously in the 1980s, was to link to an article in the Washington Post citing the New York Times treatment of the accuser of William Kennedy Smith. So, yes, the Kennedys, they've always had free rein to rape, murder, and the New York Times would go after the accusers. But that's really what the division is here. This isn't a new thing. As long as you are a presumed white male Republican, whether it's the Duke Lacrosse case or, oh, that dastardly Haven Monahan in the Rolling Stone story about the frat boys gang raping the gal. The whole thing turned out to be fake. There is no Haven Monahan. Or now a lot of the statements about Brett Kavanaugh, like from Krugman, oh, he's smirking, and a lot on Twitter and elsewhere. Oh, he's a white male, is white privilege. If you fit the narrative, you are guilty, and there is no coming back from that. And it's not just Democrats and the media running the country. It's any white male can be accused with an evidence-free accusation.
Well, you shouldn't
like
judge people on the basis of their immutable characteristics, period. So I don't know why the leftists all say that. Ann Coulter, thank you. It's great to see you tonight.
Thank you.
Well, the president is pushing for more transparency on the Russia investigation, so naturally the left is now denouncing